Last time I left you with the mystery, and today we are just gonna finish part 2 of our Ochako witch dress. Are you gonna be the mummy? Yeah? Halloween? Is that your Halloween costume? No, I'm not swapping cosplays. I actually decided to use this piece of cotton to make a petticoat for my dress because it was a bit flimsy. So honestly, I didn't even think about it. I just cut some strips of fabric and started to just hem the bottom of it. This is gonna be the ruffle of the very end of the skirt. The skirt itself is just a rectangle that I sewed together, and then I folded the top to make a little channel in which I could insert a cotton ribbon. That way I can just make the waist of the skirt as small as I need when I'm wearing it. It is very simple, you just need to attach a safety pin to the end of your ribbon and just feed it through the channel until you reach the other end. Now I am gathering my bottom part of the skirt. This is called a ruffle foot. It makes a terrible noise, but it's very useful because you can make ruffles that look the same all along. It's actually quite cheap and it's very easy to attach it to your machine. Now I just need to attach the ruffles to the rectangular skirt. And top stitch them so they face downwards. And this is how it looks. It's super simple and it adds a lot of volume to the skirt of our dress. Let's move on to the belt. I made my own with a piece of fake leather. I only had to fold the edges to create this effect of thicker fabric. I am using something called a walking foot, which is again very cheap and it's helping me fit the fabric evenly at the top and at the bottom. This way it's all much more straight, so it's much easier to have a neat result when your fabric is very thick. Don't forget to check the width of your belt with your actual buckle, otherwise it may be too big for it. Just don't look at this part because I definitely didn't check it. But it doesn't matter because I was able to just hide a little bit. So what I'm gonna be doing now is just making a hole just to be able to put that buckle through the... how do you call that? I don't know. I just made a hole so I could get the buckle through. Of course it is out of frame, but what I'm using is just a hammer to just do this hole using this metal piece, which I don't know the name of. As this is not real leather, sometimes it doesn't get cut completely, so using a pair of scissors is your best bet to get that hole out. I'm using some studs to keep my belt in place. You don't have to, you can just sew it, but I just had them around and I think they look prettier, so that's what I'm going to do. If you want to do this, you will need a couple of extra holes just to get your stud through, and it's very simple. You just put one part through the hole and it goes all the way through the other piece of fabric and you just put the cap on top. That's it. I just made a triangle on the other end so it looked like a real belt, and again I just used my scissors to make more holes to get the buckle through it. Also, I didn't need to, but there is this little detail on the design and I decided to put a pop closure on the end of this belt just so it stays closed while I'm wearing it. You don't have to do it, As I said, it's just a little decoration that I decided to add, and yeah, it's just like I had them around and I thought it would be nice. I actually made a little shoulder part because in some of the reference pictures you can see she's wearing some kind of leather armor, but in the end it's not really visible, so I didn't include it with the patterns. And let me know if you would be interested in having these pieces, and I'll just put it up for free somewhere in my page. It's literally a couple of pieces of this fabric that I have, which is like leather, and I attached them together and added some more strips of leather to just have them cross over your chest. I mean, it's pretty simple and there's not much to it, to be honest, but it was a nice touch if it had worked. I kind of broke it while I was wearing it, so I wasn't able to take very good pictures of it. I added a couple of shoulder pads to make it a little bit bulkier, and later on I will decorate it the same way as I did with the hood. Don't forget to make the little belts for the closures of the hood as well. And the last part of this spooky cosplay is the hood. Kitana is helping me with the lining. Yeah, she's like the weight when I have to cut the fabric, and yeah, that's what I usually get whenever I'm doing some cosplay. Oh, that's fine. That will be fine. Thank you. I kind of had forgotten that I had already used part of this fabric, so it was a big surprise when I found that I had just this much to make my hood work. But I did it, so just make sure you have enough fabric when you cut this. I started by joining the shoulders of my capelet, and I'm going to be using wonder clips because my material is pretty thick. I actually used some upholstery fabric that I found very cheap, but you can use any other material that you think is thick enough to hold the shape of the hood. If you don't have something like that, you can always add some interfacings to your material, and that will make it stiffer and easier to work with. I follow the same process to make the hood, and I'm going to attach it now to the capelet. I'm just cutting a few notches because this part is curved, so when you cut these notches, what happens is that it's much easier to work with the fabric. Just make sure you make them like very small. Now you can just find the center and align your hood to the capelet, and you will be able to just sew it with a stitch, with a straight stitch. That's it. To make it easier for myself, I decided to top stitch the front so that part would be completely smooth. Of course, you don't have to, and you can just add the lining normally, but it was a little touch that I added. Now I'm just stabbing my fabric so I can use these little holes to introduce the leather cord that I'm going to use to decorate the edge of the hood. Before I could finish with the lining, I had to attach the belts first. I just used some studs and some belt loops that I show you how to make on the previous video, and this is how it looks. The lining is made the same way as the hood, and to attach them together I just folded it slightly shorter than the outer part so it wouldn't show when you're wearing the hood. I'm just now going to hand stitch everything to make it look nicer, but feel free to top stitch it if you don't want to spend this much time doing the hood. I added a final decoration at the top and the hood was complete. And now it is the time you've been waiting for, time for the reveal. I hope you enjoyed this video. I certainly did enjoy making it. Let me know in the comments if you like this kind of reveal and if this is the type of cosplay that you would like to make, and remember you can just download the patterns for this cosplay on my page, as well as getting lots of pictures and all kinds of extra stuff if you decide to join my Patreon. You can just support me with a like or a comment, and remember that you can subscribe if you want to see more projects like this one, and I will be looking forward to see you next time. Bye!